Attention, attention. Écoutez bien, s'il vous plaît. Je m'appelle Lewa. Hey, everybody, this is L.A. Kendrick. I'm back again with another weekly horror story from the House of Havoc, the Crib of Chaos. And it's entitled 38 Stitches. We're going to jump right into it. Now, what happens is there is a young man that works at a warehouse facility, and they're moving stuff around. They're moving a lot of heavy pieces of equipment and furniture and just all kinds of products. And ends up slicing his palm of his hand all the way down to his wrist. And he's bleeding profusely, and they don't have any vehicles on hand to take him to the ER, so they actually get on 911, and they make an emergency call to have an ambulance come pick him up. So when they come and pick him up, they don't recognize the name. It's Kubler Medical Center, and they don't recognize that, but we're going to call our young man Dwayne. Dwayne starts to remember that name, but he doesn't really think a lot of it because he's in a lot of pain because of the injury to his arm, because of the cut. So the EMTs get him on board, and they bandage it and try to stop the bleeding as best they can, and they start driving off. And as they're driving away, Dwayne is looking around and he's making sure that he sees landmarks, things of that nature, because he doesn't recognize the ambulatory service or the hospital name or anything like that. So he's trying to make sure, and he's always been that kind of guy that, tracks and makes sure that he knows where he's at. He's even pacing, how many miles it is from where he's last at to the hospital. So they get to the hospital and they go through the admin where they're giving him paperwork to fill out. He's filling out all the paperwork, what he's allergic to, what he's not allergic to, who to bill it to, how the accident happened, what company he works for, et cetera, et cetera. And so as he's filling out the paperwork, he's looking around and he's noticing that there are a lot of people there that are in wheelchairs, and they seem to be really heavily sedated, which is really weird because it's like 15 people, it seems like, in that area, in the waiting area, which is highly unusual, to say the least, for that many people to be there and to be heavily sedated like they appear to be. So then one of the people in the wheelchair, he speaks out and he says, "Hey, get out of here." He's slurred speech. His speech is slurred. He's not moving very fast. He's not looking very alert, but he's alert enough to let Dwayne know that something's wrong. He says, "Get out while you still can. These people are crazy. If you check in here, if you don't let them put you to sleep, don't let them stick you with any needles. They're crazy. Nobody leaves this place." So Dwayne looks at him and he's like, "What?" So then Dwayne looks at the clerk at the front desk that's been helping him with the admin paperwork, and she said, "Don't pay any attention to him or anybody else in here because they're heavily sedated with the medication, and that's just the medication talking. You'll be fine." So then someone comes in scrubs to wheel the individual off, and as they do, the individual starts yelling and laughing hysterically loud, saying, "Get out while you can. This place is hell. If you think it's a joke, you won't make it out here tonight. Get out while you can." So they put him into the elevator, and the door shuts, and you can still hear him laughing as the door closes. So Dwayne thinks, okay, this is pretty crazy and whatnot. But then again, he's thinking, well, medication is talking, and people do things when they're heavily medicated. So they set him down. They set Dwayne down, and a few minutes go by, and then they let him know that there's a room available. So he goes into that room. He waits for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then the surgeon comes in with the scrub tech, and they look at the wound, and the surgeon tells him, "Yeah, this is pretty nasty. We have to, suture this up pretty quickly." So they give him a topical and then a local instead to make sure that the pain and that he can't feel the suture. So a few minutes go by and they suture him up, they stitch him up, and they bandage it and cover it and wrap it. And then the surgeon doctor tells him, "Okay, so we're going to get you a prescription for to stop any infection that you might have had because it was open so long or whatnot, and we want to make sure that you don't get sick. So I'm going to prescribe you these medications." Just stay here for a few minutes and we'll get back with you. So they leave and they leave Dwayne in there. And Dwayne, after about 10 minutes, as he's sitting there, Dwayne notices that he can hear some weird chanting next door in the room next to him. And it's really muffled, but it's deep. It's like a low bass frequency, and he can hear it clearly. So another 3 or 4 minutes go by, and then Dwayne is like, okay, this is taking too long. So he looks out into the hallway, and then the front desk clerk tells him, yeah, come on out, we're ready for you. Sorry it took us so long. And you got your paperwork, we're ready for you to leave. You're free to go. Just sign this. So Dwayne comes out, goes to the front desk, and he starts, looking over paperwork to be sure that it says what it's supposed to say, and it's medication and prescribed medications that he's going to need. And all of a sudden, he sees like 4 people running down the hallway screaming, and they're tripping over stuff. Some of these people are in scrubs, and some of these people are just like in gowns with the backs out, because some of them are actually running and backing up and running at the same time. But then there's this huge, crazed man in scrubs running at them with bone saws in both hands. And as he's running at them, he's just cutting them down, slashing tendons, back of the legs, the neck, just stabbing them and cutting the people up, and they're screaming and they're falling and blood's flying everywhere, and he can't. And Dwayne is just in shock. It's like, what the heck is going on? So he didn't even move. He kind of freezes, and the last 2 people come to where the front desk is begging for help, and he just the crazed man in the scrubs just starts hacking and slashing them to death with the bone saws. So then the front desk clerk, she's trying to call somebody, and as she does, the crazed man swings at Dwayne with the bone saw. Dwayne ducks, and it hits the clerk, the front desk clerk, hits her right square in the side of the head and kills her instantly. And they're in front of the door, so Dwayne can't even go to the exit because he's blocking the exit. So Dwayne scrambles to the elevator. That's the safest way that he can see it. It's the only place that he can see that he can get out. And the crazed person, the crazed man in the scrubs, is trying to pull the bone saw out of the side of the front desk clerk's head. So Dwayne's on the elevator and is pushing the button, frantically trying to get it to shut. And it finally does as the man runs right at the door, and it goes up, and Dwayne pushes the 3rd floor. Now Dwayne realizes that he didn't have his cell phone. He can't even call for help, so he doesn't have his cell phone with him. So he gets to the 3rd floor, and it's dark, and there's nobody on that 3rd floor. So Dwayne goes to the front desk there and manages to dial out and calls 911 and explains to them what's going on and the name of the hospital. And they're having a hard time locating the hospital because they said it doesn't show up on any records, but they're going to just leave the phone off the hook, and they're going to try to triangulate that. So when they do that, Dwayne says fine, but then he can hear the elevator going up again, and with that, Dwayne tells them, he's coming for me now. He's coming for me now. This man has killed all these people. He's murdered all these people, and I think now he's coming for me. So they tell Dwayne to hide. Dwayne puts the phone down. After that, Dwayne puts the phone down, and he quietly goes into a room and tries to hide under the table because he can see the man coming to, looking around, trying to see if he can find him. And with that, I'm going to leave it right there. We're going to pick up tomorrow. We're going to pick up in a couple of days with part 2 of 38 Stitches. Now, like, share, comment, and subscribe, please. And if you want to donate, please feel free to donate to my Cash App, $outrage95. I have published work already out. This is just something like a little hobby to keep you guys entertained and occupied during these troubled times. I have work on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram, Nook, and Kindle, okay? And I have 2 books right now that I'm currently trying to get out there and get them published and get them out there and get ready for you guys. And I want to thank Rylan also. Rylan, thank you for the comment and the suggestion. I really appreciate that. Like I said, make sure I definitely give you guys a shout out when you guys speak to me, you talk to me, whether it be in my new book or whether it be online or whether it be a shirt sent to you or something of that, or autographed book or something of that nature. But again, this is L.A. Kendrick. Remember, check your closets. Check under your beds. Check all the dark recesses of your home. And if you happen to work at night, when you step out, make sure you check your surroundings and under your car, because you never know what's lurking in the dark, waiting to make you a story. This has been L.A. Kendrick, bringing you the heavy. Oh, and one more thing. We saw this track when we were out jogging about 4:30 this morning. So you guys tell me what you think. It's on my YouTube page. You tell me what you think. I'm not gonna say what I think it is. I'm just telling you what we saw, and I just made a video of it. And hey, this is a pretty isolated area, so I don't know what it is or who it is or what it was. All I know is that it's there. It's for you to view. You tell me what you think it is. You tell me what you think it was. And I'll leave you guys at it. Y'all be safe out there.